We're back.
Hello.
We watched another movie.
We did. It was an industrious day. It was called
Sailing Pharaoh's Ship.
Yes.
PBS. We like PBS.
It was a documentary about a maritime archaeologist. There was evidently been some debate over whether the Egyptians sailed only on the Nile or whether they were also sort of capable of handling the ocean, which is obviously a bit more erratic, and on the Red Sea. So essentially this archaeologist assembled a team of people who tried to build a proper Egyptian ship, as they did 4,000 years ago, based on the archaeological
evidence. Yes.
Record. I was going with record. Yeah. Okay.
So they took traditional building methods and traditional, not ingredients, but what's the word?
Wood. They used the cedar wood was what the Egyptians used.
Yeah.
And the fibers for the rope, not synthetic, and the beeswax.
Yeah, they used beeswax and linen for keeping it in water. The whole point is, how do we keep this afloat? Because 2/3 of the film was, how do we get this boat to not sink?
Which is important. I mean, legitimately, I think that's most of building a boat.
Because when they got it built and everything, well, actually, I think we're getting preemptive. The cool thing is that modern boats, you have the keel and then structure. So it's like a spine and a rib cage.
Yeah.
But the Egyptian boat had the spine and then your skin goes over it. Like, if we're going to keep with the body parallel.
Yeah.
But it's just the outsides that are built, and they're built like puzzle pieces, so they all fit together, and using that idea is that would keep them watertight. They built it, they launched it, and it sank.
It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
It really was. There were a lot of Egyptian workmen who sort of have been building ships in the area for a long time, and they're all just sitting there smiling. It's just like they're all thinking, those crazy fucking Americans. It's beautiful.
They're saying very nice things like, oh, we think it'll be an interesting project. And the look on their face is just, these idiots. What do they think they're doing?
Which is valid.
It's kind of really cute.
Yeah.
They had the first idea that if they sank it, the wood would expand and fill up most of the cracks, and they'd be able to kind of deal with it. But they raised it, they pumped all the water out, and it just sank right again. And so they're like, well, maybe they use something in between the panels to keep it, because modern boats, they use muslin or cotton or something in between all the panels to keep it watertight, or plastic polymers.
Caulking?
I don't know.
It might be caulking. To just sort of fill in the basic cracks that there are.
Mm-hmm. With this one, they recovered evidence of little pieces of linen, so they stuck that in, and then another commonly used Egyptian household item was beeswax, so they covered beeswax over it, and they got it to float, which was the main problem that they were having.
Yeah, and they actually managed to sail down the Red Sea for several days and nights, which was kind of impressive. I thought a really cool thing was just, they had one sail, really. They had it was big
sail.
and square, and they're about, did they say 12 ropes?
20. 12 on each side, or 20? I don't remember. That doesn't math out.
Yeah.
There were a lot of ropes.
There were much, much more than we have, and we get very confused, and
There's 2 on each side, and we get confused as to which one we're supposed to be pulling.
Yeah.
So
12, let alone 24.
Yeah.
Is a lot more. We were impressed.
the rocking.
Oh.
It had such a short body, and the captain called it a pig because it was short and round and cute.
That's a technical sailing term.
It is.
Things we have learned.
But so they put it on the water, and it just starts to tip and turn, and you're watching this and thinking, this is gonna take on water, and it's gonna flip over, and everyone was yelling at each other to wear life jackets the whole time, which was really cute, actually.
Yeah.
But once they put the sail up, oddly enough, the rocking subsided, and they were pretty cool, except for when they hit rough weather.
Well, it makes sense from physics, because you have the forward movement stabilizing it.
Yeah.
Is that the physical concept? Mark, don't tell me I'm wrong. It'll make me sick.
The other note was to say, since they were sailing the Red Sea, so, and the wind in the Red Sea goes north-south, so they'd push off Egypt, and they'd sail down to Where were they going?
It's Punt, which they're not actually sure where there is. It's this ancient civilization. They think either Sudan or Eritrea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so that's just straight down the Red Sea. It's called Punt. No one knows where it is even today.
This mystical land of Punt.
Mm-hmm.
But they would have to row back, was the theory. So they'd sail down and row themselves back, like 800 miles back to Egypt.
Yeah.
And the rowing was very unstable and didn't look like a good idea. There were like lots of moments where you're just like, this is wildly impractical.
Yeah.
Like they built their boats on the Nile and then disassembled them, loaded them on camels and donkeys, and walked it over to the Red Sea.
And then rebuilt it again.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah. So that was what we learned. It was interesting. The different ship design, because we haven't looked at that as much.
Yeah. Phone. I'll be back. Keep talking.
Oh my! There were many pretty things in this. There was a pretty archaeologist, which is always nice. I have a lot to contribute, you guys. I'm the real brains.
There was
of the
the
operation.
terrifying
True
captain.
story. Oh yes, the captain was wonderful. He was just like, I've never sailed anything like this. We're going to die.
It was this mix of like absolute terror and like giddy excitement on his face the whole time. He was so adorable.
Yeah.
But yeah. He was very doubtful in the beginning and then hopped on board towards the end, so it was cool. I'd sail this across the Atlantic.
No, it's a bad idea. Just watching it tip and like at a certain point, and honestly they were like, it's getting windy and stormy out here, but like, it wasn't.
It was a mild breeze.
Yes.
Like there were no storm clouds. It's just...
Yeah. They took water over the side, and when they were lifting the sail up, the sail got fell in the water,
Yeah.
and so there was water in the sail, which of course makes it much, much more heavy and difficult to raise. And like, having watched the documentary, I am willing to concede that probably the Egyptians could sail down the Red Sea.
Yeah.
That seems like a plausible hypothesis, but not as... You weren't going to take on the Atlantic, let alone the Pacific in this boat, so...
It's the thing is, like, they relied a lot on... The other theory was that they relied on foreign boats, and that,
Oh, yeah.
like, other people would go to them, or they would sail on their boats, and, like, back and forth, that kind of trade, as opposed to, we're getting on our little tipsy pig boats and going off to Greece. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. It was definitely... It
It's
definitely
interesting,
presents the idea
yeah.
that this could have very likely happened.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it was by PBS and on Netflix, if you want to watch it.
Watch it.
We enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
That's it. All right. Bye.
See you guys soon.